Good evening, and welcome to Stab the Dragon Productions, episode number 167. This is Monday, May 6, 2024, Fort Worth, Texas, and we are here for the Texas Rye Whiskey Tournament, bracket number 3. Giant Texas Cask Strength versus Still Austin Cask Strength Rye Whiskeys. Giant Texas Cask Strength Rye Whiskey here is 116.8 proof. And it's aged for at least 2 years. Uses all Texas grains, distilled and aged in Houston by Giant Texas Distillers. This can be had at Total Wine in Fort Worth. I bought it there February of this year for $44.87. Specs, it is not listed. Goody goody, it is not listed. And I do not recall seeing it at either of those stores. And in this corner, we have Still Austin Cask Strength Rye Whiskey, 116 proof, aged at least 2 years. This is a certified Texas whiskey, available at Goody Goody in Fort Worth for $68.73, purchased in February of this year, 2024. Total Wine has it for $64.99. Specs has it for $65.99. Now, when we look at these whiskeys, part of the deal is I try to guess which is which from looking at it, nosing it, tasting it. So we'll reach that point later on. That doesn't really determine the outcome, though. The outcome here is really all about the palate, the mouthfeel, the finish, the taste. And so that's the deciding factor. Which whiskey would I drink 3 times out of 5? If I had both these whiskeys before me for 5 nights in a row, which one would I drink the most? And in this tournament, I've done, I think this will be 24 whiskeys that I've done in this tournament. None of them have been bad. Okay, none of them would I turn down. If somebody offered me, great. If you wanted to give me a bottle, great. But I do have my preferences, and so that's what this is all about, is determining which whiskey I like the best. So part of the fun is I try to evaluate the bottles. And if you just look at the bottles, they're about equal. It's a similar size, similar shaped bottle. The Still Austin's a little bit taller, skinnier, but still I like this classic bottle shape. And when you look at the labels here, both labels are very nice, but I've got to give the edge to Still Austin. They hire a local artist to do their labels. In fact, the rye whiskeys are called The Artist, and it's kind of a self-portrait if you look at that. So it's a very very tight race there, but I would say bottle, label goes to Still Austin, and marketing as well, because Still Austin is available in all 3 of the big box stores that I checked, whereas the Giant is only available at Total Wine. That's where I got the Giant, Total Wine. So advantage there to Still Austin. But let's look at the appearance of the whiskeys. They are both quite dark, as you would imagine from a cask strength, and they are indistinguishable, really. I cannot see which is the darker whiskey. For me, just aesthetically, I prefer darker whiskeys. There they are in the glass. Again, indistinguishable. And I thoroughly mixed up these glasses, so I don't know which is which, but the Giant Texas is going to be labeled number 1 on the bottom, whereas Still Austin's going to be labeled number 2. I'm not real familiar with either of these whiskeys. I've had 2 or 3 pours from each over the last 3 months or so. And that's not enough for me to really, they're so similar. I don't know if I'm going to be able to decide which is which, based off of taste. They're similar, in proof and similar in taste and appearance. So appearance of the actual whiskey, I'm going to say, is a tie. Now we're going to go for the nosing. I will start with the one on my left. And immediately my inadequate nose can rarely smell whiskey, but this one's got a nice nose, a little bit of rye spice, a little bit of Texas funk, some sweetness, but a kind of a deep sweetness and dark fruits maybe. So that's a very pleasant and appealing nose. Let's go to the one on my right. This one I'm not getting much. Smelling the proof just a little bit. Okay. Nose goes to the left. Now let's go for the palate. Getting some candied sweetness there. A little bit of baking spices, rye spice, touch of licorice maybe, some cherry on the finish. That's quite good. The proof is very apparent. Now I'm not a proof hound. I don't normally go for cask strength. Anything. I've got a few. My iron root whiskeys, a couple of them are very high proof, and it works for me. Those are wonderful. Old Granddad 114 I like, but I prefer the bottled in bond. So I think my wheelhouse is tops out at about 105. Anything above that can be questionable. So here the proof does kind of take over, but it still has a good flavor. Second sip was not quite as strong, but also the flavors were a little bit muted on the second sip. All in all, that was pretty good. But again, I think I'm beyond my proof preference there. So let me rinse my mouth out here. And initially, I could not tell you which of these two whiskeys that was. So I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going to be able to guess that one. One on my right. Getting just a little hint of rye spice on this one now. A little bit of Texas funk. This one, the proof doesn't kick me in the throat. A lot more rye spice on this one. less of the Texas funk. A lot more rye spice. But still, I mean, the proof is there. Changing into bitter, a little bit bitter on the finish. Not getting the fruit that I got on the first one. A lot of wood on this one. It's very dry. All right, if I had to guess which was which, I'm going to think that this one on my right was number 2, was the Still Austin. And on my left, number 1, I think is Giant. So that's a very tentative guess because I don't know these whiskeys very well. But I'm going to say I prefer the one on the left. And that's for the palate. Mouthfeel is going to be about the same. They both have a rich mouthfeel. But I think I like the finish on the one on the left. I was getting some candied fruit there, a little bit of cherry, a little bit of plum maybe. So all in all, I think the one on my left is Giant, and I think I like that one better. But well, I don't know. I mean, these could go either way. I'm not familiar with these two whiskeys, so let me raise this glass. So I'm thinking this one is number 1. Nope, it is number 2. And number 1 is here. So Giant was on the right, and Still Austin was on the left. So yeah, there you go. All right, got these now. All right, so what that means, the one on the left was the one I preferred. So let me taste it one more time. Now I have switched the glasses back up so they match the bottles. So I now have number 2 on the right by Still Austin. So here we go with the Still Austin. Yeah, I'm just getting some hint of some fruit on there along with the along with the wood, a little bit of the Texas funk, but not an overzealous amount there. Giant. Now that time I got a lot more of the rye spice on that one. Okay. This may be very difficult. Figuring out which one I like the best now. This may be a tie. The Giant definitely has more of the Texas funk. And I was getting some fruit off of that as well as the Still Austin. Okay, I'm going to declare this to be a tie as far as tasting goes. I think the proof conquers the flavor here. And so, you know, you proof hounds might might like this. I'm not that into high proof, only occasionally. And so I think the proof obscures the flavor in both of these whiskeys. And so really the proper test would be to compare the cask strength, these two cask strengths, with the 100 proof version of the Giant and the 99.6 version of the Still Austin. That would actually be a good test. But right now, for taste, I can't. It's a tie. So what that does is it goes to price and availability, and Still Austin is more expensive, but is widely available. So, but this is, $68 versus $44. So that's $24 difference. That's a $20 difference. So now it's down between, do I want the lower price or the greater availability? I think you're still going to be able to get Giant, common throughout Texas. Man. Yeah, I'm gonna give this win to Giant, because that $20 price difference is huge for what you're getting here. So, availability goes to Still Austin, but price goes to Giant by a mile. I mean, if it was only $5 difference, even $10, but that's a $20 difference. So I'm going to declare Giant the winner of the cask strength, because it's way better for the price than the Still Austin. There you go. Giant wins. All right. Here's your winner of the cask strength. But now, see, what I'm going to have to do is pull out the Prideful Goat and see if, do a comparison here. Maybe a comparison between these high proofs and their lower proof brothers. Well, all right. I'm going to have to figure the rest of this tournament out, because there's some interesting questions now that have come up. Well, meanwhile, we will be back hopefully next week with another entry that kind of came in late, and Balcones. Balcones has done some interesting things. They've got now a bottled in bond rye, and on their website, their old rye is no more. It's not on the website. So I'm going to do the Balcones bottled in bond rye versus their old one, Texas Rye 100, and see which one I like the best. For now, this is Stab the Dragon, out here.